Morning, guys. We have another rainy day here. So today we are going to go on a little road trip. We're going to go climb Mount Independence. Come along with me. There's a little story about this place, and I want to take you on this little adventure. Let's go. Hey guys, so where are we going today? We're going to Mount Independence. So we're going to go and explore a Revolutionary War period historic site. And why is it called Mount Independence? Well, it was once called Rattlesnake Hill, and that is where Continental soldiers were encamped, and the Declaration of Independence was read to them for the first time. And as inspiration from the Declaration of Independence, the place was renamed Mount Independence. So we are going to go explore this archaeological site that has great historic significance to the United States. Come with me on this journey. Well guys, from the looks of it, it looks like we've cleared all the bad weather, so it looks like we're gonna have a good hiking adventure here without having to deal with the rain. Hey guys, so I'm at this intersection, this four-way intersection in the middle of nowhere here, but we're getting close to our destination and I found this historic marker. Let's check this out. Mount Independence Military Road, route to Hubbardton, 1777. This vital American military road to the south of here was built on the September 7th, 1776 orders of General Horatio Gates to connect Mount Independence, a new Revolutionary War fortification on Lake Champlain, to Hubbardton, Rutland, and Fort Number 4 in New Hampshire. Gates called the road essential to the interests of the United States and the safety and protection of the inhabitants of all of the middle states of this union. The road was used by soldiers traveling to the mount and suppliers sending military stores for the new fort. On the night of July 5th and 6th, 1777, as the British approached, American forces withdrew from Mount Independence and Fort Ticonderoga along the road, fighting the British at the Battle of Hubbardton on July 7th. So I thought that was a cool little thing that I discovered on the side of the road here. Like, just for context, like, look at this little slice of middle America. Like, if this isn't kind of weird and cool, I don't know what is. Anyway, let's hit the road. Hello. We have a little museum over here in the background, but we also have like several routes that we can go to see different archaeological sites that are in the area. So this is going to be really cool. Stick with me on this. Mount Independence from the top of Mount Defiance, New York, across Lake Champlain. The forest has grown back since it was cleared in 1776 through 77 and occupied by the North American Army and then by British and German troops. So this is what the area looks like from the opposite side of the lake. Let's move over here. The trails lead to traces of the past: gun batteries, hospital foundation, blockhouse sites, and other defenses. Shown above is a gun battery near the end of the Southern Battery Spur trail off of Baldwin Trail. Historic information is available in the trail signs and the trail map brochures. Great. All right, guys, we're going to hit the trail to the southern defenses. Wow, look at this. We already got some nice wooden stairs. See rock faces right along the side of it. Everything is very lush green and overgrown. Well, if that doesn't look man-made. Look at that. Interesting. So these are probably the rocky outcroppings that they were talking about. That was part of the defenses to this area. So we're gonna see if we could find what's left of the old fort that's supposed to be out here on this trail. Our men built huts out of boards to protect themselves from the cold weather. Lieutenant Von Hill, October 22nd, 1777. Some of the archaeological artifacts. It's a fork. It's a little historic map of where we are. This is a blockhouse. This is what they should look like. I've seen a few of these before. And here is the remnants of it. And as you can see, between these trees here and along there, the remains of that foundation. Ordered a large storehouse to be built. Here is a map of the area. Here is a bayonet that was recovered. And there it is in situ at the archaeological site. And here are some examples of gun flints. Let's take a look at the remains here. So this is the foundational remains of the storehouse. It looks like a rubble foundation. I mean, it's obviously man-made. You could see the right angles here. So out here we have a pretty interesting illustration of what the area looked like in 1776. We have looks like a bridge, a ferry going across one side of the land to the other, and the fort in the background there. See the rock faces along the shore there. And this is it now, as the sign says. Okay. Alright guys, we took the trail to head towards that the remains of that fort that I pointed out on that map. So hopefully there's something left of it. I don't know. I've never been here before. So this will be cool to find out. But just want to point out how absolutely gorgeous it is out here. What a perfect day now it's turned out to be. Wow, look at the size of this old tree. God, that thing is a historic site in and of itself. This is Picket Fort, a star fort. October 1776, here on the highest point of Mount Independence, the American forces began building a picket fort in the shape of an 8-pointed star. Inside the wooden walls were barracks surrounded by a square parade ground and a powder magazine. In 1777, the soldiers protected the fort's exterior with abatis, felled trees with sharpened branches pointing outward. Colonel Judithan Baldwin, chief engineer for the mount, drew the plans up in September 28th, 1776, and laid them out in October 1st and 2nd. 300 soldiers were on fatigue to build the fort and barracks. Soldiers began moving into the barracks, not yet completed. By mid-December 1776. The fort could hold 1,000 men. Unreal. I'm guessing that's what this is. I'm guessing that's what this area is. I'm going to be real with you. Really isn't much left except an open field. And a few stones I'm sure were associated with the site. Alright, we got another area here that's designated as an archaeological site. You can hear the trains in the distance. It looks like a lot of rubble to me, but I could imagine, given the terrain, that this was, I don't know, likely some kind of old LPOP or a gun battery of the day. Check out this random mushroom. Anybody knows what this guy is, let me know. I'm not gonna eat it. Oh, gnarly. There's a few more weird and gross looking mushrooms. Check those out. Again, you guys know what these horrifying things are. Let me know. All right, we found another stone spot here. I don't want to call it a foundation. It's definitely not a foundation, but if I were a rifleman, you see down below me is, I believe, the lake. I believe that's Lake Champlain down there. Now, separate out all these trees, and from this point here, you've got a really solid fighting position. You're on a high ground. You're protected behind these stones, and you've got great fields of fire 250 years ago, so long as this area was cleared, which I'm sure it was. It's enough for a man to have his rifle be down behind cover, fire from back here, be able to do it comfortably. This is a nice little spot. A definitely artificial berm out here. Down below Lake Champlain. Out in the distance, that's New York State. All right, let's take a look at this obelisk that's placed out here. This would have been a heck of a thing to get back here. This is probably quite a distance on the trails. This says Mount Independence, named by troops camped here where they first received word of the Declaration of Independence, July 18th, 1776. And look at this old wrought iron fencing around it. Wow. Yeah, this is definitely a nice spot to hang your hat. I can see why they camped here. All right, guys, let's see what we brought. Water. Gonna need that. Oatmeal chocolate chunk cookie. 290 calories. Nice. Got some other things too. I wasn't sure what the weather was gonna be like. So I brought meatballs and marinara and a heater pack for it, but it's kind of warming up now, so I don't think I want to do that. I'll save that for a rainy day. I thought that this was going to be a rainy day. It looks like I've lucked out. But what else we got? We got chocolate pudding. I love that they put them into these squeeze containers, like out in the field. So nice to have. And applesauce with this big on it. Nice. Yeah, so that's what we got to work with. This is a nice and peaceful spot that I found out here. It's still early in the morning, and there are, no hikers around or nobody else. So it's just us out here, guys. And yeah, we're out at a historic encampment from the Revolutionary War period, just me and you. I forgot to add, this is chocolate pudding with protein. So, got to get your extras in there. See, like, how convenient is this? How convenient is that? That's wonderful. The protein pudding, top 10 favorites. So, oatmeal chocolate chunk cookie. My Air Force survival knife. Why this one and not my buck knife that I normally carry? I had this while I was in service, and yeah, so historic tie-ins. That's the reason why I brought it, and it looks cool on camera. I like the leather grip on it and the black steel. I think it looks cool. So, so the cookie, dried out and crumbly. However, it has chocolate in it. Chocolate's always nice out in the field. See a rock face out in the distance over there, and it looks like a pier on the other side with maybe a ferry. I'm not really too sure. Maybe that's a boathouse. But this is cool. Let's crawl all over this historic site a little bit. As you can see, you know, this rocky cliffside from below is what that masting point looks like. I don't know if you can see it clearly on camera, but here we are at the bottom of this rock shelf. Now we have this. Let's back this up so you could get some context here. This is all artificial. This is built up rubble, it looks like. Look at this. I'm standing on it right now. It's a wall right here. And right here is the interior of it. As you can see, this is where we were standing. This is the slope of the rock rubble. We have a wall coming in this way, and then one going back that direction towards the shelf there. Very interesting. In a lot of my videos, I tell you to get in your car and get out there and explore. This is one of those reasons why I think you should do it. Is here we are on an archaeological site in a pretty well-groomed place, but this place has all sorts of secrets and things that you are going to see for the first time with your eyes. Maybe the first time anybody's seen it in hundreds of years. If you enjoy getting out there and exploring history, archaeology, road trips, getting out there in your car and exploring the world, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave me words of encouragement down in the comments section. Leave me your thoughts on these ancient places. Heck, give me ideas on places to go and see. Check that out, that's cool. A little robin egg. Huh. This day there were 2 men buried from our regiment. And here's the tombstones of the burial site. Remember the sacrificed soldiers who served here and respect their final resting places. Right here, we have that stone. Let's take a look at this. It's remarkable. Look at those boats. Look at those ships. In June 1777, Lieutenant General John Burgoyne, British fleet bore down on Lake Champlain towards Mount Independence and Fort Ticonderoga. That's incredible. Imagine seeing those up on the open water. A perfect mousetrap. Colonel Alexander Scammell, September 21st, 1777. The placement of a cannon atop the dominating heights of Mount Defiance signaled the end of the American occupation of Mount Independence and Ticonderoga in 1777. As you can see, and we're going to get a better look at this, this is Lake Champlain going down the middle, and this here is approximately a quarter of a mile across, making this a perfect choke point. However, looks like the British had high ground. Overlooked both Fort Ticonderoga as well as Mount Independence. Interesting. So from here, from this lookout point, we could certainly see a flag hoisted at the top of that site there. If you're up there, you basically have command of this entire space. It's a hell of a place to put a cannon. Boy, I'm happy to be back in the car after that really muggy adventure out on this really cool historic site. Again, like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming along.